Good afternoon, and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. We are here to take a look at pitching for today, the 24th of July. It is Friday, and we do have a 10-game main slate ahead of us this evening. Don't have any real weather concerns as far as I'm aware, so we get to take pitching for what it is. I will be looking at DraftKings, as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to use stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. This is meant to be a first look at the pitching options on the slate to cut down the pitcher pool to make it a little bit more manageable before you fine-tune it leading up to the first game. So let's just jump right in and take a look at some of these pitching options for us on this slate. Baltimore, Atlanta. We get two options that I think are in play. I don't really play Grant Holmes very much. It's been 2 months since he put up more than 18 fantasy points. He only has 3 appearances of more than 19, I think, on the season. So there's a lot of things that just kind of point to him just being okay. He's been far better on the road, which is where he's at tonight. He's not a huge K guy, but there's some struggles going on in the Baltimore lineup. So maybe there is a route to him being SB2. He's not somebody I want to be too invested in. Probably just a sprinkle in your MME. On the other side, you get Trevor Rogers. A guy's had one weird season. Elite first game of the year, fell off a cliff for a long time, and now over the last month has figured it out again. It was a month ago and he put up 30 fantasy points against the Dodgers on the road. So over his last 5 starts, just 3 runs allowed. Now, walks can be an issue, and that's a worry. But Atlanta has struggled more against left-handed pitching than I would have thought. Guys like Albies and Riley have traditionally hit left-handed pitching really well. They're without Acuna. I don't think Acuna was making it back. Yeah, there was talk that he was going to come back this weekend, but I did see he limped from an at-bat last night in the minors, so that might be delayed a couple of days. So I think Trevor Rogers is a better play than Holmes, but he's not somebody I want to get too invested in. Cleveland, Tampa Bay. I'm not using Cantillo. He's had some pretty solid appearances this season. I'm just not getting there. Tampa Bay doesn't strike out enough for me, so I just can't rely on it. Shane McClanahan on the other side, coming off of a rough performance. I'm kind of hoping for a bounce back. He's pitching at home where he's averaging nearly 20 DK points per game. K rate's a little worse at home, but he just allows far fewer base runners, etc. Pretty locked in when he's pitching at home. J-Ram's back for Cleveland, so it does lengthen out the lineup a little bit. And he is their best hitter against left-handed pitching. But for the most part, the lineup's pretty weak against lefties. So I think McClanahan is somebody that we want to get to. I actually could see him being a little overlooked at 9K on this slate. When you got Logan Webb and Bryce Miller just above him. San Diego, Miami. Not really going to be any pitching that we need to worry about on a 10-game slate. German Marquez, definitely not somebody I want to play. We can look at his numbers, but they're just not good. Gusto, going to get the start 2 to 4 innings, maybe 5 innings. We don't really know what he's going to do. Could go 2 innings with Dax Fulton, getting a few innings. It's basically going to be some combination of those two guys getting us 6 innings this evening, is my guess. I just like San Diego bats far more than pitching in that game. Dodgers Mets, we get Roki Sasaki and Sean Manaea. I'm not getting to Roki. Whatever. If he gets it done, then he gets it done. He's obviously had some strong starts this season. 31, 33. Too bad both those came against the Angels. 21 against Philly, but then some pretty bad ones. 19 against the Yankees, probably decent. I'm just not going to rely on him showing up. His run numbers are pretty bad. So I'd much rather be on the Mets. 19 home runs allowed on the season in 86 innings. It's like 1 every 4.5 innings, so basically 2 per 9. Just no thank you on that. Sean Manaea, the guy that I've used plenty of times, but multiple home runs allowed in 3 straight starts. His strikeouts have crept up, but there's a bit too much volatility. I am going to be all up on the Dodgers this evening, so no Sean Manaea in my pool. Patrick Sandoval, a guy I like seeing him back, coming off of a rough performance. I'm not using him against Toronto, even though Toronto's lineup has been nowhere near what they were last year. And for whatever reason, over the last couple of years, even with Bichette, and then going back to, I guess, when they had Teoscar was a different story, but they just haven't hit left-handed pitching that well, despite having a team full of right-handed bats to take on lefties. On the other side, Trey Savage is somebody I am going to play. Boston's huge winning streak just came to an end. Savage hasn't been super sharp. He has some walk issues randomly now. He's got, 3 starts of 5+ walks over his last 7. That's obviously a worry. But his overall numbers just are far better than what his ERA is showing. His whip number on the season was 1.16, average against 185. So he does a great job of keeping, not giving up hits. It's the control that have gotten to him. I think there's upside, so he's somebody I'm going to utilize. Definitely somebody that was in the 9Ks for much of the season, all the way down to 8K now. I'm going to have to play Sammy Savage. Not something I'm super excited to jam in. I don't remember what his home road splits were. He's been slightly better away. So even though Boston, Fenway, not the best pitcher's park for him, but I am going to sneak in some Savage. Don't plan on getting too heavy, unfortunately, but I do want some exposure. Houston and the White Sox. You get Davis Martin, a guy that's had some struggles over the last month and a half. After he had such a strong start to the season, I do think it's a little bit of regression coming in. Definitely was nowhere near this kind of guy in previous seasons. So he's somebody that I kind of wanted to fade until I realized he's been so dominant at home that I just don't think I can fade him. Just 1 home run allowed in 45 home innings. Generally doesn't give up many home runs either. Just 5 and 61 on the road. So there are some Houston bats that are swinging it pretty well, and some Houston bats that have hit him pretty hard previously. I'm probably not getting too much Davis Martin, but I am going to keep him within my pitcher pool. On the other side, we get Spencer Arrighetti. That's kind of all over the place. Walks have been a big issue. 4+ walks in 3 out of his last 4 starts. Don't love to see that, but when he is on, we saw a 31, a 30, like 27.5. We have enough upside, and I think the White Sox lineup has struggled enough recently that I am going to play some Arrighetti. I hate his road numbers. Obviously, that worries me a ton. His walks just skyrocket on the road. Hits allowed, double. So it's a potential spot for him to get blown up, but also the White Sox offense not doing exactly what they did earlier. At some point, Murakami's going to warm up, but he's like 9 for 30, or not 9 for 30, 5 for 30, sorry, since returning from the IL with like a 38.5% K rate. So just a spot where I think I want to sprinkle both pitchers in. I would not be surprised if that game ended up like 7-6 or 7-5. But at the same token, I wouldn't be shocked if either pitcher ends up as SP2 on this slate. Bryce Miller, Mackenzie Gore. Miller on the road has been decent. He's just nowhere near the same pitcher. His home numbers are phenomenal. Gives up a few more home runs on the road. Now, he's somebody that I'm going to like playing. His last couple starts have not been the best. Obviously, a worry there. Gets a week between starts this time. It was 8 days prior, a week before that. That extended rest should help him, but still, he finished that first half just on fire, really. And I kind of think it's going to happen again. A lot of speculation and some trade options for Seattle, whether they're going to trade away some of the pitching or not. Texas has kind of surprised me recently, but still overall, I think that Bryce Miller has the upside to be SP1 on the slate. On the other side, Mackenzie Gore. If you like volatility, he's your guy. Last month and a half, just 2 starts over 19 fantasy points. But like he can dominate. I mean, he struck out 10 Twins. 2 starts against Seattle, he's averaging 19 DK points per start. I guess both of them were early. Yeah, 31. Faced him at home and put up over 31, and then faced him in Seattle and put up 6. Kind of how his home road splits go. Pretty strong at home, struggles on the road. Does have some extreme upside, has some volatility. There's a chance you complain about him. One nice thing is he's cut down his walks recently, but his home runs allowed are up. So somebody I'm going to play because I understand there's a lot of volatility to him. But when we get him right, we get one of just a few pitchers on the slate that I think legitimately has 30 fantasy point upside anytime he takes the mound. Twins, A's, 2 guys that at some point over the last couple seasons I've used. Zebby Matthews, I'm not getting there. I like the A's bats, even though he's much stronger at home where he's at tonight. So there is a route to some upside because the A's can strike out. But he's also given up 15 home runs in 70 innings on the season. So I'm not getting to Matthews, but he's one of those guys that I think if you wanted to sprinkle in, I think there are worse options to use. Lopez on the other side, coming off of his best performance in a while from a fantasy points perspective, but he's nowhere near the guy that was last year. I really liked his K upside previously. He's just walking a bunch of dudes along some home runs. Like, it's just not working out for him. Ton of base runners in his appearances. I'm not going to get there tonight. I'll be on the Twins bats. Cincinnati, St. Louis. Rhett Lauder, not getting there. Just 1 start over 18 fantasy points on the season. Coming off getting absolutely lit up in Coors. 10 fantasy points against St. Louis. First time he faced him with a ton of walks. His road numbers are atrocious. Getting a whip of 2 on the road on the season. That just says a lot. I'm not getting there. No thanks. Dustin May on the other side, I am getting there, and it does pain me. The last 2 starts haven't been great. A lot of walks. Not as many strikeouts. I mean, 10 strikeouts in 9 innings isn't bad. There's volatility, but he's at home where he's been at his best. So kind of trust those home splits, and I'll rely on that. Since he's such a volatile matchup, there's a ton of K upside for me, but when Cincinnati kind of shows up, they put up a bunch of runs and get a bunch of base runners, etc., which can hurt May in an efficiency standpoint. But they come with a lot of power. Last game on the slate, my favorite ballpark for pitching, we get Logan Webb at home. This used to be considered an absolute smash spot in previous seasons. It's not necessarily the smash spot, but just 2 home runs allowed in 53 home innings. K rate's a little lower at home, but his walk rate plummets. He just allows more hits, but he can pitch more to contact a little bit at home, so that's part of that issue. He does get the K rate increase because of his opponent this evening. 3 of his last 4 starts have been 27 plus DK points when pitching at home. Hit a rough one against Toronto, but before that it was 27, 32, and 30. Just had been locked in, so I kind of expect him to get back to that again. Last start, just 3 base runners allowed against Seattle. Just managed to give up 3 runs as well, so a little bit unlucky in that regard, and probably one of the few pitchers on this slate that's going to throw 100 pitches. No thank you on Grayson Rodriguez. As much as I love pitching in this ballpark, I just don't love guys that allow so many base runners, and just doesn't seem to have a ton of K upside right now, so I'm going to pass on Gray Rod. But there we have it. There's our first look at pitching on the slate. If you enjoyed what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will drop a link in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off any MLB package monthly, or Best Ball 2026 gets you 20% off any NFL or VIP Core 4 membership. That Core 4 does include baseball. There's a link to our merch store. You can check that out. Check out my design, some of the other stuff. Hit the comments. Let me know what you're doing with pitching in San Francisco, if you're playing Gray Rod or not. As always, best of luck, everybody.